When I first played the Brahms concerto, in my very early years, naturally, I didn't know what it was all about. I only found my way in the Brahms in my later years. As I probed deeper into the significance of the concerto, I came to the conclusion that perhaps, for me, he is the most complete of all composers. There is everything there. Lyricism, very masculine when necessary, and the melodies, the themes are so wonderful, so sublime. I don't think there is one superfluous note.
This capacity to draw that line between seducing the attention of the audience and forcing them to breathe with you, to feel with you, that their pulse becomes the pulse of the music. It's a very very special quality. Horowitz has it. When he sits down to play, everybody's absolutely mesmerized, and Ida has that quality, as Rubinstein, as Isaac Stern had, as Yehudi Menuhin had. These are very, very special qualities. And there are only a few people in each century who have that capacity to magnetize and polarize an audience.
The Huberman Centenary was a rare opportunity to spend a few days in company with a number of my violinist colleagues. I had just played the Sibelius Concerto and returned to the stage to bow, not noticing my colleagues Isaac Stern and Shlomo Mintz. I was so moved. It was such a wonderful gesture. Absolutely unforgettable. I've been rather isolated from the rest of the violinists, possibly because I've been concentrating more on a soloist career, playing mainly concerti with orchestras and so on. The soloist's career is basically very lonely. It's very hard to avoid travel. And it's very hard, especially on a woman, the constant waiting, the endless waiting at airports. But in order to bring music, we've got to go and seek out our public, not the reverse. We can't have the audiences come to us, as much as I would like that. But this travel does sometimes provide opportunities to meet people in various corners of the world, like my friend Ken Noda. We played a little Mozart when we met recently in New York. In spite of the hardships of travel imposed on a concert artist, I must admit that it has provided me with opportunities to see places and meet people around the world, and that has been a rare privilege. In 1973, with the London Philharmonic Orchestra directed by Sir John Pritchard, I toured China. Rodney Friend was then concertmaster.
I always have the feeling with Ida that you can put her on the North Pole and she's going to take out the violin and play with freezing cold hands equally as well as she's going to play in the Royal Festival Hall in London or Carnegie Hall in New York.
Italy is the birthplace of Niccolo Paganini, the virtuoso who composed this music and who invented so many of the violin playing techniques we now take for granted. Italy is, of course, where the finest violins were made, including my own Stradivarius. Venice is absolutely unique in the whole world, and I was enchanted to be here just as any tourist would be. I first visited Venice at the invitation of Maestro Sergio Celibidache, who invited me to play with him at the Biennale. My collaboration with Celibidache here and in many other European centers was one of the most enriching musical experiences of my life. I arrived in Venice, I remember very clearly, on the lovely September afternoon. We stayed in a modest hotel opposite the Teatro La Fenice. It's a wonderful concert hall, this jewel, La Fenice. I've returned this time to Venice's neighboring city of Padova. I will be playing a piece I love but rarely have the opportunity to play, the Bach Concerto in A minor. Claudio Scimone will direct his fine chamber orchestra, I Solitsti Veneti, and we will play in the ancient church of Santa Sofia.